Bummer, and we are talking with Citizen West. Let's get you guys to introduce yourselves.
So my name is Mark.
I'm Antonio.
I'm Trevor.
I'm Cody. We are Citizen West.
You guys have been touring down in South America. What do you think of Weyburn?
It was a surprise coming to sunny Weyburn. I think we did the math. It was like a 70 degrees Celsius temperature swing.
That's right.
And huge humidity swing. So, but Mark and I in particular from the frigid north of Canada. I grew up in Fort St. James.
Yeah, and I grew up in Winnipeg, so this is familiar.
This is old,
Yeah.
old hat, you know.
Yeah,
old
right.
hat.
Takes you back to
Definitely a shock for me though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is Antonio's first
Yes, this is
experience.
the coldest weather I've ever been. It's morning, me and Trevor, because we're both from like Vancouver. We like threw a cup of hot water into the air and saw it like turn into snow, and it was just like we were pretty excited about that.
What's your favorite part of having a career in music?
I mean, I think there's a charm to every aspect, really. The travel's an amazing thing. I think the creative process of getting together and writing together is another really amazing thing in recording. Like, Trev is sort of the mastermind behind all of our productions and arrangements. So we get to see a really interesting side of the musical process in that way.
Yeah. Creating music is like probably the best part of it, you know, when you actually get to be in that moment where you're creating something beautiful and it sounds great and, you know, it's fun.
Yeah. I think there's a charm to every aspect of it, really, for sure.
I'm like really into like alternative country and like rock and blues kind of. That's kind of my favorite kind of music. I kind of grew up listening to a lot of that kind of stuff, and I try and emulate that sometimes.
Yeah, there's definitely that flair in your voice.
Definitely, yeah.
It adds a cool little ingredient to our mix.
Like I love Elvis Presley. Like he was kind of like my discovery into like that kind of stuff. My mom used to listen to a lot of like Tom Jones and like Celine Dion growing up, and then she like put on Elvis Presley once, and I was just like, whoa, you gotta keep playing that. That's so cool, you know. And kind of went from there.
How about you, Trev?
Well, I was raised classically, and so I really enjoy my classical music. And but lately, I've really been enjoying electronic dance music as well. So it's quite a 70 degrees Celsius shift musically. And but with these guys, it's pretty cool because they've been introducing me into a lot of classic rock and different genres that I had never been aware of. So I've come to appreciate and really love that as well lately.
For me, like growing up in small town northern BC, there was definitely the country influence. It was the first kind of music that I ever sang. It's what my mom liked to sing. But then the classic rock stuff was big too. And then I started doing classical music, and that's where everything kind of fell apart. And I was like, what's going on? Now I do everything. I think that's kind of where we're all at a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of nice because I feel like we all bring kind of a different flavor to the group, and it's like a really great kind of melting pot of ideas and different music flares, and kind of really makes it interesting and special.
Totally. Kind of like what Trevor touched on. It's like I wouldn't have been exposed to as much music was I not with these guys, because there's certain things that I didn't necessarily listen to or grow up with, but then because of being around them, we're exposed to way more music, and that I think that just makes our sound more eclectic and kind of more interesting that way too. So, yeah.
I also do a lot of film music as well, and we are able to be very cinematic with our sound as well. And with these big voices, you can really capture that sort of idea. So if you listen to our music, a lot of it has that very large orchestral cinematic sort of quality to it as well.
The funny story about this is that this movie medley has transformed and changed like multiple times, and poor Trevor here has had to adapt this medley like I don't know how many times. Five times.
Like
Version 4. And
with
it's
a few revisions.
With a few revisions all the time. And it's just, we'll hear something, or we've kind of we had two different versions, we put those two together, then we'll hear a new, or not a necessarily new song, but we'll hear a song, we're like, oh, we should add that to it. So I mean, this poor guy is kind of always changing this medley.
We're all super good friends and all that, but yeah, to work with like really talented people that just make you a better musician is a joy.
I think my favorite moment always kind of changes because it always depends on the audience and the night itself, because there could be these songs that we perform over and over and over again, but it could be for some reason an audience reaction to something that night that all of a sudden makes it that much more exciting. There's a number that Trevor does, so he does a solo, but his solo essentially changes every night because it's an organic piano piece that he just does based on what the audience gives him. So I mean, that some nights it's just like it'll blow your mind, and like the connection you have with the audience is so great, and that will be the favorite moment.
I'd say like the hallmark of our sound is definitely like thick, at times unexpected, non-formulaic vocal arrangements over big, sort of big production.
Layman's terms.
Yeah. So big, thick voices over good music, and we try and choose. You know, when we're covering songs, we do a lot of that, especially for shows like the community arts shows. People want to hear the songs that they know. You know. So we do a fresh take on that.
Regardless of what generation or whatever you grew up in or what music you listen to, a good song is a good song. So if you go down to the core of what the melody is and you listen to it, from that, if we can all agree, we're like, we all like this song. Now, it has probably been heard in whatever genre that it's, you know, or whatever style, but we can then take a good melody, a good song, and make it our own and try to make an arrangement around that. And I think that people appreciate that because perhaps, you know, if they don't necessarily listen to classic rock, but then they could listen to our version of a song and maybe be like, oh, I never, you know, thought of it that or heard that song in that way, or country or pop or whatever it is. There's a little bit of something for everyone.
So yeah, hopefully leave people with
their
something.
interest peaked and their minds blown and running to Instagram and Facebook to follow. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you so much, guys. See you soon.
Thank you.
We can dance a million miles, I'll shelter you through every trial. We'll face the world